Alright guys, I'm back. So I do the review for the 22nd of the 7th, 2013. Now I thought this was a really good show. I thought this was a good show this week. Some of the matches, I like, the show's good. They built some of the storylines up like D. Bryan and Cena. I liked how they built up Punk versus Lesnar, and I like how they built up Biggie, and I like how they built up the those matches. And some of the matches I didn't like on this episode. Some of these matches I didn't like Tyson O'Neil versus Christian. I didn't like that match, and I didn't like the Dolph versus Darren Young match. Like, what the fuck? Why would you have that on an episode of Raw? Have that on an episode of SmackDown. But anyway, the show starts with Maddox. So the show starts with Maddox is in the ring. He says that tonight's going to be a contract signing between Cena and D. Bryan. So Cena comes out. He really puts over D. Bryan here, which is awesome. He says that Maddox asked him why did he pick D. Bryan. Cena says that he listened to the fans and the fans wanted D. Bryan. Then D. Bryan comes out. Maddox asks D. Bryan, does he deserve a WWE title shot? He says yes. And then D. Bryan says yes, and then Matt says no. And Maddox puts D. Bryan in a gauntlet match tonight. So this was a good segment. I like this segment by D. Bryan. I like D. Bryan. I think he was great in this segment. I like how WWE Creative are always I like how WWE Creative have been pushing D. Bryan really hard. I've been really liking that. I thought that's awesome. So I'm really like how they've really been pushing D. Bryan here, and he's been getting he got another great crowd reaction on this last episode of Raw. So that was great too. So the first match tonight is Del Rio vs Sheamus. This is a real good match here. And Sheamus had like a bruise on his leg from the Money in the Bank. Sheamus did have like a bruise on his leg from the Money in the Bank ladder match he had. It was on his leg. So Del Rio works the leg. He's attacking the leg and stuff, kicking it and stuff. Then Sheamus hits a backbreaker. Then he causes his chest. Then Sheamus goes for the white noise, but his legs go weak. Then Del Rio counters the white noise into a small package for the win. So this was a real good match here. I enjoyed this match between Del Rio and Sheamus. So I really enjoyed the Del Rio Sheamus match. I thought it was a good match. And then we see segment backstage. Renee Young's interviewing Booker T. Booker T says that he respects Vince's decision. Teddy says that he was GM for a while Booker T was injured. Booker says what he says. Booker says, but Booker says that he will throw Teddy out the building. Teddy says if Vince named him the GM or something. I don't know what did I say? I don't know what. Oh, I read there. Anyway, so the second match tonight is Christian versus Tyson O'Neil. It was an okay match, I guess. Christian hits a kill switch for the win. Short match. Then we see second backstage. Matthews is interviewing Ryback. Ryback says that Ryback calls Matthews a turd. What? A twerp. Yes, a turd. A twerp. Then Ryback says that he's a bully. Then we see segment. Then Henry comes out. He says that Henry is definitely turning babyface now. He puts over Texas. So we definitely we know like Mark Henry's turned babyface now. So it kind of looks like SummerSlam gonna have a 6-man tag match between the Usos versus Henry. So so wait a minute, I said that wrong. So it's gonna be Usos versus the Usos and Mark Henry versus the Shield at SummerSlam. That's probably the match that they're gonna book. Sorry guys, I'm stumbling today. Then Henry says that he got attacked last week by the Shield. And then the Shield come out, they attack Henry. Then the Usos make the save, they super kick. The Usos super kick the Shield. So and then we see segment backstage. D. Bryan tells Cena that he's gonna defeat everyone. He's gonna defeat the. D. Bryan tells Cena that he's gonna win the Gauntlet match tonight. Second match tonight, Dolph versus Darren Young. Dolph hits Zigzag for the win. After the match, Big E tries to attack Dolph, but Dolph runs out of the way. So it was an okay match. I like the. It was an okay match. I think it was a great match between Dolph and Darren Young, but it was an okay match. Segment backstage. No segment. Sorry. Another Miz TV segment. Why WWE Creative Team are we having these Miz TV segments? Why? These are getting really boring. Every week on SmackDown and Raw we're getting these Miz TV segments. Anyway, Miz says that he's the host of SummerSlam. Then so his guest star. Wait a minute, I forgot. So Miz says that he's the host of SummerSlam. That's probably the host of, so he's just hosted a pre-show. That's why he's probably just hosting a pre-show. So his guests are the Divas. Then there's this these like new Divas. Anyway, there's this new Diva called Eva Maurice, and my God, she's hot. She's a hot girl, but yeah. She's kind of not my kind of. She's a hot girl though. This Eva Marie. I don't know. I don't think she's gonna wrestle. But I think she's just there to look good and stuff. Then Jerry Lawler comes out. He introduces himself, and then he gets slapped by Eva Marie. A segment backstage, Triple H says that Dean Bryan's the future of the company. First match tonight was Cody versus Fandango. There was a botch in this match between Cody and Fandango. Cody tries to go for a moonsault, but he lands, but I think Fandango lands on his back before Cody does. Damon's on commentary. Sandow tries to distract Cody, but Cody hits a disaster kick on Fandango and Sandow off the ropes, which is quite good. And then promo from Punk. Punk says that Lesnar beat him up last week. Punk says that Lesnar's been WWE Champion and World Champion. He says that at SummerSlam it's going to be the Beast versus the Best versus the Beast. Heyman comes on the screen. Heyman says that Heyman has Punk's challenge at SummerSlam. So at SummerSlam it's going to be Punk versus Lesnar. I'm glad that Paul Heyman I'm glad that this has been booked. So hopefully this is going to be. Hopefully this feud gets to pick up in the next couple of weeks. We get to see more. I hope we get to see Brock Lesnar on Raw more, so we can promote the match a bit more. I don't want to talk or anything, but I just want him to just be there. So he can just, he can pump through, so they can just brawl and So I hope this match is great at SummerSlam, but I want this storyline to be built up a bit more. Then the fifth match tonight was Barrett versus RVD. Can I say that RVD does not care about his opponents, because he hits those nasty kicks. RVD, those kicks that RVD does are nasty. I mean, because one kick, I think, was it the roundhouse kick or was it a super kick or something he did? One of them hits Barrett in the mouth and he gets his mouth's bleeding. That, I don't know why RVD is so aggressive in the ring. I don't know why he doesn't take care of his opponents that much. And then that same thing happened in TNA when a couple of years ago he was facing Abyss in TNA, and Abyss had his teeth kicked out of his mouth because of RVD's stupid kicks. Anyway, RVD hits a Roll Thunder and a 5-star frog splash for the win. Every time I say that move, I always stumble. I also cannot get out. I mean, I also can't get that word out. It's like a 5-star frog splash, that's it. The sixth match tonight was a gauntlet match. So the first guy D. Bryan faced was Swagger. Swagger touched to the no-lock, to the yes-lock, sorry. D. Bryan versus Cesaro. This where the gauntlet match picks up from here. because these guys don't. If you guys know, D. Bryan and Cesaro were in Ring of Honor. They put some great matches on them in Ring of Honor, so I know they're past in Ring of Honor when they face each other. So I know this is going to be a good match between these two. Cesaro hits a uppercut from in midair on D. Bryan. Then Cesaro picks him up, lifts him up, and then tries to hit him with another midair uppercut. Then D. Bryan counts out with a small factor, so that means D. Bryan won the second gauntlet match. So the third guy facing the gauntlet match was Ryback. This was an okay match. D. Bryan gets Ryback in the no-lock, he gets the ropes. Then Ryback powerbombs him on the outside. Then Ryback gets the table, powerbombs him through the table, so that means D. Bryan wins by DQ. Then Ryback's trying to destroy D. Bryan, and then Cena comes out, he saves D. Bryan, and then Ryback runs up the ramp. Then Cena challenges Ryback to a tables match. Then so we see backstage, Maddox tells Vince that next week it's going to be Cena versus Ryback in the tables match, and Kane versus D. Bryan Kane versus D. Bryan. So next week on Raw it's going to be Kane versus D. Bryan and Cena versus Ryback. So in the tables match. So next week's Raw was quite good. So I thought this Raw was quite good. What do you guys think? I thought Raw was a good show this week. What do you, some of the matches were okay, like Christian versus Titus O'Neil was good, and Darian versus Dolph was good. I really like the Sheamus versus Del Rio match. I thought that was the match of the night. D. Bryan, so the angle, some of the matches for SummerSlam were booked on the show, like Punk and Lesnar and like the Usos and Mark Henry match versus the Shields. So some of these matches were booked for SummerSlam. They really were building some of these feuds up between D. Bryan and Cena and Punk and Lesnar. So this was an okay show for me this week. What do you guys think about the show? Leave a comment in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Brag out.